tiptoe through the window, by the window. That's where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulip.
She must have been out of her head. Here it is.
Wait a second. I think I see I thought I seen a big buck or something. Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck?
What is that?
Dude, that's not a buck, dude. That's not.
Daisy, Daisy,
Give me your answer, do.
I'm half crazy.
All for the love of you.
Daisy, Daisy,
Give me your answer, do.
I'm half crazy.
All for the love of you.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer. I'm half crazy.
Reacting to the scariest TikTok accounts part 2. This account is unique because a lot of you messaged me on Instagram and you wanted me personally to react to it. My Instagram is Austin Vro if you guys ever want to send me another account. The account we're going to be looking at today is called user 01726472771. It seems this account has racked over 200,000 followers with only 5 videos posted. And the views are just unheard of for a brand new account. This account isn't just a normal TikTok account. This entire account is supposed to represent an ARG. An ARG is an alternate reality game. I'll show you what I mean. Let's check out one of the videos.
Went to the hospital at 12 a.m. and they told me to stay in the car and realized that it's been 3 hours and there's nobody around me. I also checked in the hospital and saw no one.
This person is saying that in this alternate reality there is nobody there and he's able to make these videos and upload them for us. But look at this. We can see there's a bunch of numbers and letters, which is a message. This is what it translated to. Like and follow for more videos.
A creepy video I found in the internet.
You're so traumatized, it makes me want to cry. You dumb motherfucker, I loved you, I loved you, I loved you, it's true. I wanted to be you and do what you do. I lived here,
idea why. Coming through the kitchen here. Oh, say hi, Bernard. He never lets me talk. And then I see that. This is the 3rd time I've come through, and this is exactly how I've seen them. 3 times now. I think I'm going to bed now.
This is literally my bathroom mirror. The people who used to live here were murdered in this house. Mirror update. I looked at the side and saw the mirror wasn't attached to the wall. Mirror update. This is crazy. I decided to look at the top of the mirror. There was a hole. What terrifies me? The fact that a serial killer could go into a haunted house and pretend to be a part of the act. They could literally get away with murdering hundreds of people because the screams and the dead bodies would look a part of the show. If you've seen this post, you'll most likely see my comment. If you think this is what the fairy looks like, you're wrong. They're ugly and not nice at all. It's not good to make homes for them. You are inviting them to your house. They will end up giving you a gift just so you can say thank you. Look at this creepy video off the internet.
Just one thing that we have in common, neither of us will be missed. St. Bernard sits at the top of the driveway. You always said how you love dogs. I don't know if I count, but I'm trying my best.
Это что такое, ребят?
Top creepy videos captured this week. Many dogs went missing in this neighborhood, and someone was able to capture this. Local caught a skinwalker behind their home. One of the scariest things to see in prison.
This is how modern animals used to look in the past. Firstly, we all know what this animal is, right? A sloth. They spend most of their life hanging upside down a tree, but many years ago, that was not the case. This is how sloths used to look, and no, I'm not playing. Here's a comparison between the prehistoric sloth and your average human. Now, a lot of us have these cute little animals in our homes, dogs. But many years ago, I don't think they were in anybody's home. This is a bear dog, and it's humongous. I'm glad we have dogs the way they are now. Next, dragonflies today really don't harm us, and they actually look pretty cool. Although a long time ago, they did not look so cool. Their wings could be as big as a toddler. Finally, millipedes already gross out a lot of people, but they just seem like normal animals, right? Well, this is actually how big millipedes used to be in prehistoric times. If I lived back then, I would stay in my cave.
This is why you should always keep your phone charged. A girl named Marissa came home from school at around 3 p.m. She walked in the door and told her mom that some random number kept calling her all day. Her mom told her the person may have the wrong number and just to ignore it. Marissa said okay and begins to do her homework. A couple hours later, she receives a phone call from the same number. Marissa answers it this time and says, "Hello?" The man then says, "We finally found you. Don't worry, bunny." Marissa begins to panic and tells her mom what just happened. Her mom's face goes blank and says, "What did the man just call you?" Marissa says, "He called me bunny." Her mom yells and says, "Grab your stuff, we need to leave." Marissa, confused, packs her things and gets into the red car. Her mom begins driving fast and turns on the radio. The radio says, "The baby named Marissa who was kidnapped in the hospital 10 years ago has been found and police are searching for a red car." Marissa looks at the woman and says, "Who are you?" The woman looks back and says, "You can call me mommy."
I literally want to cry. So if you didn't know, I have a sister and her name's Ashley. And we both have boyfriends. And every night we both fall asleep on the phone with our boyfriends. So one day we're all hanging out and we're like just talking. And my sister's boyfriend looks at me and he's like, "You need to stop going into your sister's room in the middle of the night." And I look at him and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't have a reason to go into her room. Like I don't go into her room, especially in the middle of the night." Then my boyfriend hops in the conversation and he's like, no. He's like, "No, I hear Ashley go into Kayla's room every night and stare at her." So me and my sister both look at each other and we're like, we don't go into each other's rooms, do we? And we agreed that we do not. And they said this has been going on for months. So for months, somebody or something has been going into me and my sister's room for about 15 minutes every night and watching us sleep. But it only gets worse.
Grab his arms. Let go. Let go. In you, Lord, form my tower in the face of the enemy. Wicked.
This guy may have just captured a skinwalker screaming on camera, and fun fact about skinwalkers, the further the scream sounds, the closer they are to you. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
It's more dense as you go back, but what happens is this creature comes up against this fence, and it jumps this fence. And it was standing, we think, right in this where I'm standing right now, and my friend's inside right now. I'm getting this footage. And did you just fucking hear that? That was fucking it.
Part 2 of going down the scariest road in my state. So as we were going on the road, we all felt extremely nauseous again. And when I say this road is pitch black, like look at this. And as we were driving, we noticed a truck following behind us without any headlights on. And you're probably like, why didn't you drive faster? And that's because so many people have died from speeding on this road. And as we were driving, we did come across another car coming down the road. And the truck was still behind us at this point and even flashed their brights at us in this video right here. And if you guys notice anything creepy in the woods, let me know. We eventually ended up getting to the end of the road and we made a U-turn and we decided to follow the truck this time so they could get a taste of their own medicine. It ended up being 2 kids our age, so I don't think we had anything to worry about. Now, one of the rules on this road is to never look behind you. I was joking around and I decided to look behind me, and as soon as I did, a deer ran across the road and we nearly hit it. For the rest of the night, we all felt extremely uneasy, but we're planning to go back soon.
If you're ever walking and hear a sound behind you, look up, for it might be the Gashadokuru. The Gashadokuru are skeleton giants who walk around in the middle of the night. If they see a human, they will quietly walk up behind them, bite off their head, and drink their spraying blood. Soldiers that die on the field and people that die of starvation usually do not have their final rites read. In Japanese culture, that means that their soul cannot pass on and they're reborn as a hungry ghost. When the bones of hundreds of those souls gather together, they become the skeleton monster known as Gashadokuru. If you're a fan of monsters, scary stories, and lore, please support this channel. Thank you guys.
What's the scariest moment of your life?
So when I was in the 5th grade, I decided to make an executive decision to stay after school for after-school activities. Unbeknownst to me, my mom and dad had left to go to the store, leaving my 4 younger siblings sitting outside, locked outside the house, because I'm the only one that had the key to let them in. So at this time, it's maybe like 4:45, 5 o'clock. I'm walking home, and as I get closer to my house, I see this white man standing in front of his car talking to my little brother. So I'm like, who the fuck is this? As I'm getting closer, I'm seeing my little sister sit in the back of his car and him like coasting my little brother to like get inside the car also. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if it was just pure shock, but it took me a good like 10 to 15 seconds to realize that this white man is kidnapping my little brother and sister.
This is why you should never play hide and seek. A mom decided to play hide and seek with her 2 kids. The mom began counting, ready or not, here I come. She begins searching the downstairs kitchen because she knows that they hide there every single time. As she's walking to the kitchen, she starts saying, I wonder where they are. She looks under the table and sees they aren't there, which is kind of odd. She knew they were too scared to go into the basement alone, but she decided to check anyway. They weren't there either. She began to panic. The mom then says, Jordan, Casey, come out now, mommy's not playing anymore. There was no answer. Panic really begins to set in. She decides to call 911 and reaches an operator. She tells the operator what's wrong and the operator sends an officer to her house. Once the officer arrives, he says, "Don't worry, we will find them." As she's sitting in the living room, she hears giggling and laughing and hears a closet door slam upstairs. She sprints upstairs and says, "Jordan, Casey, you worried me sick." She opened the closet door and nobody was there. While all of this is going on, she hears the doorbell ring. She runs downstairs and finds the officer holding Jordan and Casey. The officer says they were hiding in the shed out back. Then Jordan looks at mommy and says, "Why were you telling us to stay in the shed?"
So this one right here, Tamara Horsford, was murdered on November 2018 at an adult-only sleepover party with her friends. But investigators say she was not murdered. Her death was ruled as an accidental death. Her friends and investigators claim she was intoxicated and decided to just go fall over the balcony. But her family claims the way her body was positioned and how she fell and how all the events led up, it really was murder and it was not accidental. But investigators spoke to the people she did sleep over with, and half of them said she was intoxicated, half of them said they didn't see anything, and it was just a whole bunch of weird different stories. And yes, I understand this was 2018, but now this year they decided to reopen back up and investigate further into this case. But what are your guys' opinions? Let me know in the comments.
What is a creepy, unexplained childhood experience that you had?
When I was a kid, my family and I lived in a house in Texas. It was a 2-story house and my parents were putting my little sister to sleep in her crib. Then they went on downstairs and I continued to play with my toys at the top of the staircase. For some random reason, I decided to look at the bottom of the staircase and I saw my sister crawling around on the ground. So I thought to myself, I wonder how she got down there. Then I remembered, parents had just put her in the crib about 5 minutes ago. So while I stare at her, I realize that she's a little pale and she has huge black eyes, but otherwise she looks just like my sister. So naturally, I start screaming and my parents come running. I'm hysterical and my parents are asking me what's wrong. I point and I say, "Look, there's Sneha, she's at the bottom of the staircase." But she was gone. Around my 18th birthday, my family and I took a trip to India. We were visiting my grandma and one night she decided to oil and braid my hair and my sister's hair. So as my grandma was braiding my sister's hair, she looked over at my mom and she said, "Ritu, Sneha's twin would have been a girl." I look at my mom and I say, "What twin?" And my mom looks at me and says, "Swasti, I never told you this, but I miscarried Sneha's twin."
This is why you should always keep pictures of your parents. A little girl named Olivia who lived a very quiet life decided to check her homework assignments that were posted online. The teacher posted that they needed to write down their favorite memory with their family as well as bring a photograph. Olivia then writes about how her and her mom play dolls every night in the basement before bed and that she has a lot of fun doing so. She finishes her paragraph and then looks in her dad's drawer for a photograph of mom. She only found pictures of her mom from high school but decided to use it anyway. Olivia goes to bed and wakes up the next morning. Once she arrives at school, the teacher then says, "Let's start presenting our project." Then the teacher called Olivia's name to present. Olivia then begins to read about how her and her mom play dolls every night and then pulls out the photograph. As soon as Olivia pulled out the photograph, her teacher's face goes numb. She then asks Olivia if she can take a closer look at the photograph. She then recognized her mom as one of her previous students. Then the teacher asks, "Where did you get this photo?" Olivia says, "My dad keeps them in his drawer." The teacher, shocked, sits down Olivia and pulls out an old newspaper. The newspaper headline, "Local high school teen murdered, boyfriend gone missing." The teacher then looks at Olivia and says, "Your mom has been dead for 14 years.
Dark Things Disney Doesn't Want You to Know, Part 4. Today, let's talk about the mysterious disappearance of Rebecca Corium. Rebecca Corium was a 24-year-old worker on the Disney Wonder cruise ship. On March 22, 2011, while working on the cruise ship, Rebecca disappeared without a trace. This is one of the last photos taken of her, and it was from CCTV footage. At 5:45 a.m. that morning, footage revealed Rebecca talking on the phone with someone. She seemed visibly distressed. Now here's where it gets twisted. Many people believe that Disney knows exactly what happened to Rebecca, but are trying to cover up this whole thing. Let me explain. For starters, the captain of the ship said that Rebecca was just washed over by a big wave. They then gave Rebecca's parents a sandal and said that this was hers and it was retrieved from the deck that she was last seen on. Number 1, the sandal wasn't her size. Number 2, it wasn't her style. It was also revealed that Disney had edited the CCTV footage. Check out part 2 on this case for more information.
This girl right here was babysitting and found a weird CD that said, "Do you want to see a ghost?" and took it home. What happened next when she put the CD in was terrifying. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
is a creepy, unexplained childhood experience that you had? That is the name of this post that I found on Reddit, where this user by the name PM Me Your Poem wrote a really interesting story that I'll be sharing with you tonight. And before I dive any further tonight, just want to set a quick reminder. Hit this plus sign for more content, revolving anything with the paranormal, unsolved cases, and anything strange around that realm, because you've come to the right place. I was laying in bed one night. It was pitch black because we had just moved in, so all you can see is the light creeping underneath the door from the landing. My mom was sleeping in the same room as me, but she was sleeping on the floor. We had just moved in. When all of a sudden the door slowly starts to creep open, and an oldish woman appears around the door looking at me and then goes away. I just thought it was a nightmare and turned around really fast and went underneath the covers, hoping that I would wake up. When all of a sudden, something that I'll never forget. My mom whispered to me, "Did you see someone just peering around the door?" Safe to say we didn't sleep that night.
I'm literally fucking shaking and crying right now. So I was in my room and I started hearing really weird things coming from the kitchen. It sounded like somebody was doing jumping jacks for 10 minutes straight, just like really loud thuds. But my whole house is asleep. It's like 1 a.m. right now. So I go on my cameras and I start listening, and I hear a cup fall, just like a plastic cup fall, which we have a lot of those. So I was like, oh, it's just the cat. So I go into my sister's room and the cat is asleep. So I go into the kitchen. There's no cups in there. And as I walk in there, this drawer flies open. So I start freaking the fuck out because a drawer has just flown open in front of my face. And then I go into my room and I hear my oven start making noises. And the fucking oven turned itself on. Are you fucking kidding me? I have video of some of this, so if you want to see it, comment below if you want to see the video.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, don't do what she did. In 2006, a group of cave divers decided they wanted to film a documentary in one of the most dangerous caves in the world. But only a few hours into their descent, and a freak storm erupts on land, collapsing the entrance to the cave. In order to avoid the huge falling rocks that were coming off the ceiling, they were forced to swim through one of the uncharted sections of the cave. After they've been diving for over an hour, they luckily come across this island in the middle of a tunnel, where they set up camp and wait to be rescued. After 48 hours and no sign of a rescue, the cameraman actually starts filming in case they don't make it out of there. At the same time, one of their crew members does something very stupid.
Alright, let's talk about Smile Dog. Smile Dog is apparently a cursed image that has been going around the internet for quite some time now. This dog apparently takes the form of a Siberian husky, smiling a little too wide. It's also said if you don't spread this dog's image over the internet after seeing it, you will die. Some people have reported after not sharing the photo, the Siberian husky shapeshifts into their room as this demon dog here. This dog will sadistically torture you until you share the image, and if you don't, he will kill you. Some even say they'll see Smile Dog in the bushes, watching them as they're walking home or walking to their car. So, what do you guys think about Smile Dog and his cursed image?
So yesterday, something really weird happened. I don't know if the Men in Black are gonna come after me for posting this video, but if I just suddenly stop posting, you know what happened. So last night, me and my boyfriend were driving around, and it was around like 8 o'clock at night. And we just start seeing these like lights in the sky. But that night, the sky was completely clear, so it wasn't like stars. And the lights were forming a circle. I'm gonna show it to y'all. So there's a video, but I just took a screenshot. As you can see, there's 3 or 4 little white lights that like make a half circle. Here's another picture of it, of just the 3 of them like going like that. They're not towers. And then there was this. Yo, what the fuck? Which also was not just a light. None of these were light poles or anything. And the weird part was, they weren't planes either. And after about 30 minutes of them being there, they eventually just disappeared. Fucking weird.
This is why you should always lock your front doors. A kid living with both of his parents decided to watch a movie for their family weekly movie night. He then gets up to use the restroom. As he is in the restroom, he sees all of the power in the house cuts off, and then he hears 2 loud thumps. He locks the bathroom door and hears heavy objects being dragged across the hallway. The kid, freaking out, runs out of the bathroom and runs into the restroom. Once he is inside the room, he locks the door. As he locks the door, he jumps in bed and acts like he's asleep and hopes that this person who is in the house will ignore a child sleeping. He closes closes his eyes and hears the door creak at the same time. He squints his eyes and sees a man with no eyes dragging the bodies of both of his parents. The man dragging his parents sits his mom's dead body in a chair facing him, and then sets the dad's body on the floor facing up. It was almost like whoever was in the house who killed them wanted him to see it. He then sees the man writing something on the wall and then climbs under his bed. He laid there for hours knowing that if he moved a muscle, he would end up just like his parents. He finally built up enough courage to read the wall, and the writing on the wall said, "I know you're awake."
This TikToker by the name of Good Guy Dejected posted this video of something staring at him while he was in his bed. I'm gonna roll the clip right now.
I was on TikTok in my room when I heard something. I was hoping this bishop didn't move.
I'm glad this is brought up. So below me is a map of America's cave systems, and above me is a map of missing persons report in America. They both line up pretty well, and there's speculation that a group of people or a group of things are taking people away in these areas, and that's why they go missing and never found again. But I will leave it at that. I'm not saying anything else on this topic.
Boy, did this kid pick a good night to have his phone out filming. In 2008, a teen decided he wanted to film himself playing the very creepy Midnight Game. In a nutshell, you turn off all the lights in your house and you walk around from midnight to 3:33 a.m. And if at any point you stop moving, the Midnight Man will attack you. Around 2 a.m., the kid thinks he hears something in the kitchen, but he also thinks his mind's just playing tricks on him because he is playing this game. But he goes to check it out anyways. When he gets downstairs, he doesn't hear anything, but he does see that his door is now open. And when he goes to shut it, someone pushes back. He sprints away, goes upstairs, jumps into his room, but keeps filming.
Have you ever woken up with everybody gone? The guy in the video I'm about to play woke up with everybody in his apartment complex gone and strange things happening. I'm gonna roll the clip and show you exactly what he recorded and what I'm talking about right now.
Have a chair in your room. Listen to me right now. This video is for you. Always leave the chair full or tucked in. Otherwise, you're inviting someone to sit at nighttime.
Okay, so quick story time. I used to have my bed in the middle of my window, so I had two spaces on my right side and on my left. I used to have my chair on the right side and I never covered it. It never had nothing on it. It was just there. Tell me why. One night, I don't know if it was sleep paralysis or what the fuck it was, this lady was sitting on my chair and she was reaching her hand out to me, calling my name, Leia, Leia. Tell me why my dumb ass was reaching for her hand. Before I literally touched her hand, I woke up and I was so scared. I was like, what the fuck? She was trying to take me with her, like, what? I was like, how the fuck this bitch know my name? Since then, I started covering my chair.